The treble? Smith woes, Man United win, Spurs bounce. The Premier League is back this weekend, and we've got some big games coming up, with Aston Villa travelling to Southampton, the Manchester Derby, and Conte's debut as Spurs boss against Everton. Sack season might see the end of Dean Smith. Chairmen were kinder during the COVID-hit 2020-21 campaign, with only 4 in-season sackings taking place across the Premier League. That might be why it feels so ruthless to have all these departures, or impending departures, as we approach the winter, when in fact we are simply returning to pre-pandemic norms. October and November is sacking season, and Dean Smith is probably the next one to fall. Aston Villa's owners are ambitious to the point of naivety. It's highly unlikely Villa can muscle their way into Europe and to super club status, but that is the genuine aim, which means Christian Purslow will have no hesitation in letting go of Smith should this losing streak continue. In fact, the swirling rumours around Newcastle United and Tottenham over the last few days might convince them to act sooner. Paulo Fonseca and Lucien Favre won't be around forever, not with Everton tumbling down the table. They might even pull the trigger at the start of next week, when a 2-week international break gives time for a new manager to get the basics across before the grueling winter schedule begins. The timing feels right, especially if Villa slump to a 5th straight league defeat at Southampton, which they probably will. Villa are all over the place, chopping and changing formation in a desperate attempt to find rhythm that seems only to betray the absence of a detailed plan. Unfortunately, throughout Smith's 3 years in charge, Villa have lacked direction whenever Grealish was absent. He has done a magnificent job, but, with a heavy heart, it is probably time for an upgrade. Back Southampton to win at 21/20. Planet Sportbet, Solskjaer's anti-United way can pile pressure on City. We've been here before with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United, but the difference this time is that everyone is talking about how we've been here before. Where once talk of new dawns and turned corners would greet a win like Saturday's at Tottenham, now there are only eye rolls. The interminable boom and bust cycle has entered the public consciousness. Clearly, the only way forward for Solskjaer is to abandon the United way and double down, permanently, on a conservative way of playing that sees his team sit in regimented rows, shuffle across, and wait patiently for Cristiano Ronaldo to do something. It's the simplest way to coach and the least error-prone way to line up, and while it has absolutely nothing to do with the United of old, it is all Solskjaer is capable of. Certainly it will be the template for the visit of Manchester City on Saturday, a team drifting towards a mini-crisis in the background, while the likes of Man United, Tottenham, and Newcastle use up all the column inches. City look outstanding most of the time, as good as in their 198-point seasons, and yet the occasional stumble has left them on 20 points from 10 Premier League games. Drop points at Old Trafford, and they'll be pretty close to the record they had at this stage last season, when they recovered to win the title, but with 86 points overall, and in a campaign with no other serious challenger. A repeat of last year won't be good enough this time. The most reasonable explanation for their mediocre record is that the Premier League's middle class is considerably stronger than it was between 2017 and 2019. Alpha Senhitl and Patrick Vieira are much better tacticians than Claude Puel and Roy Hodgson. And this season these two have led the way in a new confrontational approach to dealing with the super clubs. No longer can City expect to face a fearful defensive shell in the majority of games, so they will keep dropping points. Life is simply harder now. Not that Guardiola will be satisfied with that answer. He will want to get more out of Jack Grealish, while working out how to avoid giving him quite so much of the ball, although with Kevin De Bruyne back to fitness perhaps that's a problem that will sort itself out. Nevertheless, Solskjaer's back 5, his low block, and his in-form Ronaldo pose a significant threat to a possession-obsessed team lacking a bit of sharpness in the final third. Back Man United to win at 7 halves, Planet Sportbet, Conte coup gives Spurs genuine top 4 hopes. Suddenly, everything has changed. 4 days ago Tottenham Hotspur were a ghost of a team, their sparkly stadium an emblem of Daniel Levy's hubris following a series of errors that left the club drifting in mid-table. But with Antonio Conte installed as manager, it is no exaggeration to say Spurs have been catapulted back among the super clubs and, completely re-energized, that they will be challenging for honors within 18 months. Conte is one of the top 5 coaches in the world. He is an outstanding tactician, a charismatic leader, and a manager with a track record of taking clubs from a low ebb to league titles in a matter of months. This is a ridiculous, outrageous coup that gets Levy out of jail, although in the long run the Spurs chairman's neck is on the line more than ever before. This time there is nothing to hide behind. If Tottenham can't make it work with Conte, Levy will take the blame. But let's not be pessimistic. There is a good chance it will work, not least because Spurs have a squad that seems to fit Conte's ideas pretty well. Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are an obvious strike partnership in the 3-5-2, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg Tanguy Ndombele crave direction, and could flourish in a biting Conte midfield, and Christian Romero excelled in the middle of a back three at Atalanta. The new manager also has a history of turning average players into good ones, his meticulous tactical work and highly demanding training sessions often working in unexpected ways. Maybe players like Dele Alli, who responded so well to the precision coaching of Mauricio Pochettino, will be rediscovered. This is all theory, for now, and in fact Conte may struggle to get his ideas across mid-season, hence his previous reluctance to take a job outside of the summer. But this weekend at Everton, who look increasingly wishy-washy under Rafael Benitez, the sheer excitement and energy of Conte's arrival should propel Spurs to an almighty new manager bounce. Back Spurs to win at 29/20, Planet Sport Bet, back the treble, Southampton to beat Aston Villa, Man United to beat Man City, Spurs to beat Everton at 22-1, Planet Sport Bet, odds correct at the time of publication. 18+, please gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org.